What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Starlight Digest, a podcast bringing you line talk and digesting Star Wars topics over 1,000 years. This is episode 147, being recorded on February 16th, 2020. We are 98 days away from Kenobi.
Ooh.
98 days. I was like researching that, and that kind of got my spirits up a little bit because we'll get into it in a little bit here. But that made me happy. The 98-day mark really made me happy. But more on that to come. But first, I am your host, Darth Mocher, joined here with Scott Solo.
What's up, nerds?
We got Grand Animal Franz.
Hey, everybody.
We've got Bootleg Joe.
Hey, yo.
And, of course, the Ernie the Fallen Fett.
Hey, guys, what's up?
What's up, dude? I'm going to raise you just a little bit, Ernie, but when we're doing that, Scott.
Why? What's wrong?
Yes.
Am I not allowed to know?
You're a little bit, low there for me on my end there, but I think that's good. Scott, we got our Patreons up.
We sure do. Hey, thanks everybody for joining up, and thank you once again to all of our Patreon members. Without you, we wouldn't look this gorgeous. Look at Moocher over here. I mean, look at that setup. Look at that. That's
Razor Crest.
That's all because of you guys. It's don't we wish?
Oh, wait, let's just go in front of it and
but if you want to join up and become a Patreon member, please log into patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest Podcast and throw us a buck or two. Every dime goes back into the production of the show, and we really appreciate it. So let's give a shout out to all of our Patreon members. We've got Cliff, the one and only Cliff.
Thank you.
We've got Donald Sulsky at Don and Brady of the Escape Pod podcast on the Red 5 Network. We've got Flavy Davy, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude podcast. Hey, nice. I know those guys.
Yeah.
Don the Dad Dorn. That's right. My father-in-law, Don the Dad Dorn. Even he is a Patreon member because he's awesome. We've got Justin the Vanilla Thunder. We've got Mervine. Gavin Connor of the Holy Hour podcast. This dude, this MFer here, actually interviewed one of the former members of The Cure the other day and put it.
Oh, wow.
I know that doesn't really matter much to the other guys in this podcast, but I thought it was awesome. So
I'll write that down. The Cure.
The Cure.
Is that
Yeah,
with
I
an
think
E
I've heard of
or
them.
2 R's?
Yeah.
I don't
Shut up.
Okay.
So he interviewed Phil Thornley, formerly.
Oh,
of The Cure.
Phil. Yeah, we know Phil.
He did do. Have you ever heard that song "Torn" by Natalie Imbruglia?
You're
He wrote
talking a
that
weird
too.
language.
I know it's
Yeah.
music. It's music. What am I gonna do?
All
right.
Well, that's debatable, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Just
Crystal Lamphere, you dick. Brandon and Anya Epler and AJ from the Forbidden Panel. Thank you, one and all. We appreciate you.
Who's in the pit?
I'm waiting
going
for him
on?
to ask me who's in the pit.
I just asked you. Who's in the pit? What's
All
going
right,
on,
I'll go with
Scott?
that.
What's
Hey, all right, in the pit, because I don't know what happened to our showrunner there. We've got Bootleg Joe, Douglas Tupper, Santo 1414, Gavin Connor of the Holy Hour podcast. We've got Blake Hollowell. Gordon is in there. Mervine is in there. Mando Mike, Plastia Dicto, and Cliff is in there. And yeah, so hey, it's a small crew today, but it's
smaller,
small
but
mighty.
it's a strong crew,
Small
right?
but mighty. That's
Oh
right.
yeah.
Oh,
Bring
and
it up.
Miss Sunflower just popped in. So hey, Miss
Right
Sunflower.
on.
All right.
Well,
Dig
I
it.
apologize to upsetting all the Cure fans that is disrupted my connection there for a second. I'm sure I've been having problems. It snowed here in Southern California, so all kinds of problems are happening right now.
Snow in the desert. Who would've
We
thought?
don't know how to handle this. Okay, we went from Tattooine to Hoth. It's nuts. So I apologize
It
for
was
that.
weird.
Yeah, I apologize. And if it happens again, the guys are professional. They'll carry on, and I'm sure they won't even mention
It went from heavy coats to shorts in like a day.
it.
right?
It
It's
did.
like-
80
Again,
degrees. 80
Yeah.
degrees without a jacket one day. The next day, I'm literally driving through a blizzard at the top of the Cajon Pass.
No sense.
I'm like, what is happening?
Fantastic.
Knows.
So I don't know about you guys in the pit and stuff, but I woke up this morning, or actually it was like yesterday, because I'm used to staying up at midnight. And even though we've been doing this for a while, and the Book of Fett, we had something to look forward to. I got like a Star Wars depression, and just the excitement. And it doesn't even matter the controversial split audience on certain episodes, all that stuff. It was just very cool to have content to put on our timeline and our shelves and all that stuff, right? I mean, it was fun, and
We're
I don't
adding
know.
lore every week. Shit we didn't know before. We were learning
Yeah.
about Star Wars, right? Whether we liked it or not, or wanted to argue about it or not, we
Yeah,
were
yeah,
getting new stuff, and that's always fun, dude.
At least it was engaging, right? You know, so
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm in a little bit of a Star Wars depression. And I'm one of those advocates like, hey, I don't need content. I have Star Wars. I'll just talk about this forever. Of course. But when you get used to it, you know, and yeah, I just was just like, I don't know if anybody else had that same kind of deal.
Yeah, and when you feel like you're in a rhythm too, right? Because
Yeah.
I felt like it's a very short season for anything, and it felt like we were just grooving, and we could have went further, and the show needed a little more too. So it was just cut this off.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 8 episodes deep in The Mandalorian. That's my therapy for it. So
rewatching. You just go back season 1. Yeah.
Just, you know, it's in our blood. It's in our culture now, and you just kind of get used to these. You know, the whole "this is the way" and all the memes and all that, and you kind of forget of just how good The Mandalorian is.
Yeah.
Popped it on, watched episode 1. I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot. How did I forget this is this good? So
right. And I
you know,
did that
in
before watching.
the end, you know how we talk about generational Star Wars. You know, we're the originals, obviously the original trilogy, and then you have the kids. You know, and my kids would be more prequels and whatnot. So you have the sequel generation, but it's really going to turn into the Mandalorian generation because it's really going to. Not that it's taking it over. It's not doing any kind of revamp or get rid of or reboot or anything like that. It's just so popular and so good, and so whether it's controversial or not, in the end of the day, they're watched by everybody, and I think this will be the one that everybody remembers more than everything.
Yeah,
you know, in time.
Yeah, 100%. Like, yeah, this we've always talked about what Star Wars does, and it's so cool. Like in Mando season 1, we had like 3 sayings to get into a repertoire of Star Wars sayings. Yeah. I have spoken. This is the way. You know, I mean, and everything was just so like punch in the face, pop culture, everything, and that's
it's
cool,
accepted.
Man.
Yeah, it is cool. Is that a bench? I mean, that's going to be forever, right?
Exactly.
That's my favorite line in all of Star Wars now. I love it.
Yeah, right. And the tap tap tap. No, I mean that is like another classic.
Yeah, but whenever Grogu's in, he always does some one thing badass that always makes you remember him from that episode, right? Like always. So
yeah.
He did a couple of things, but
that
was mainly it.
Yeah, but
I just watched that episode last night of the it's the Mandalorian with Miggs, Mayfield, and all them taking out, you know, trying to break out the Twilight guy from the jail, and that scene where Zero is going to shoot Grogu, and Grogu's puts out his hand like that, and Mando shoots him, and he looks at his hand.
Yeah,
did I do that?
Looks good, man.
All those scenes, man.
Yeah, something that cute and little just took our hearts, man. Honestly, it's a world phenomenon. That's what makes Star Wars. And not having that this week is just kind of like, and I wasn't expecting it in Boba Fett. We got him in Boba Fett. It was awesome. But then again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, I looked at the days till May 25th. It just got me all excited again because under 100 days flies by so fast. And it goes right into Star Wars Celebration weekend. And I was pumped again. I was like, okay, we're into, like I put it in the description, we're going to be getting into the Kenobi era now. Now we're focusing on Obi-Wan, Anakin, that timeline, the 18 years between. You know, it's just going to be so exciting. I love the Galactic Empire timeline in the Star Wars anyway. But what's really exciting too, and I just want to kind of touch base on this a little bit. We were also heard, again, grain of salt, right, that we're going to begin on Tattooine, but quickly move off planet and explore more of Star Wars.
Think the Force.
Yeah, right. That's what I heard. And that was, I think it was an Ewan McGregor interview that he kind of put it out there. Like, we're going to start on Tattooine, but it was quickly going to be this whole bigger, broader story, which I was like, Scott will be happy. I think we'll all be happy, right, to move on from Tattooine a little bit. You know,
I like Tattooine, so but I'm good with moving on too because I like when Mandalorian went off planet for a minute because it was something cool and new, right? I dig it, but I don't mind To me, Tattooine is just Star Wars planet, right? Like that's basically what it is. It's like it's where we started, it's where we ended. You know, it's
correct. Correct.
It
It all
just
comes
there.
back. Luke was wrong. It's not the furthest from the bright side of the universe. You know what I mean? This is the bright side of the universe to everybody else.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
one day we're gonna figure that out. Like the core of it is some kind of kyber fucking crystal. Sorry, there's my one. And it's where like all the Force originated, and we'll figure that out one day. Somebody will make that crap up in a book.
That's fun. Yeah, a comic or a novel.
And then we'll completely hate it at that point.
Yeah, the core of Tatooine is kyber. That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's
brown
kyber. What it is. Yeah.
Wasn't it? Well, in the what Catalyst book, right? Wasn't the planet that they were on it was Jakku. Jakku had the planet was. The core was
Jeddah?
like high energy.
Yeah. Jeddah.
No, I think it was Jakku. I want to say
in Catalyst.
Maybe it was
Jeddah.
Aftermath, but it was something about this planet has the heart of the Force energy. Like it was like the planet was exuding Force.
That was Chirrut talking about it.
Was it? Okay.
I thought, only the have hearts of kyber.
Strongest stars have
like
hearts
that.
of kyber.
Yeah, stars. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, right? And like, that just kind of popped in my head about that makes sense to me, man. Let's do it.
Let's roll.
So having now that so
let's talk to Gordon right here real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, Gordon, feeling a little desert planet fatigue. He lives up here with us, so I get it, man. I do. Ready for some snow planet action now. Well, maybe not. No, Kenobi.
Yeah, I can see Kenobi going to a major city type of thing and trying to blend in there and probably on a ship or two, like a large ship or two.
Yeah.
Tattooine oceans will rise again from cliff.
Hey, you know what? Didn't you think that was going to go somewhere?
I did, man.
That felt like a setup.
The flashbacks and the water world, and I grew up on a planet of water, and Tattooine used to be water. I thought it really was going to.
It felt like we got like 3 little tidbits in the first 2.5 episodes. I'm like, oh, they're really going to break down Tatooine's old ocean life. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Nope. Never popped.
Well, here's a
be in a comic.
From Irvine, Tatooine will have a secret Jedi temple somewhere. Now, I don't. Nothing that I've known, not even in EU, right, that had Tatooine special to that kind of thing, right?
But I would dig it because on Lothal that was hidden.
Yeah.
Right. You needed to know about it, so I wouldn't mind Tatooine having a hidden temple. It would make, just I don't know if we need it, but it would make sense, right? Like to make Tatooine so important.
Yeah, everything's happening on Tatooine. Why? And just having that kind of a draw,
right?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm in. I'd do it. I like it.
But I do expect Kenobi to go well off for at least half the season.
I do too.
Like Hollowell, the bodies of the pikes will fertilize the lush fields of Tatooine.
They are amphibious, right? So
that's funny.
That's cool. As we wrapped up Book of Fett and we did an episode breakdown, we did try to intertwine the bigger picture within the whole thing, right? The saga, if you will, the entire saga. I'm talking new canon from A to Z. And Boba Fett has its little mark now, right? The Book of Fett as, season 2.5 of Mandalorian, if you will. As we've gotten a week to digest it and everything, and even like Scott has gone back with the Mando and we're watching it, like, what have you guys discovered something or added some more flavor to what we got into the overall saga? Like what does it mean for the new shows? What does it mean for the existing shows? Like, I know that it's making the prequels more flavorful, if right, like starting to salt and pepper some things in there. My biggest thing that I saw, and I just kick like there, it was Luke Skywalker, right? Bringing Luke in to see the transition from where he is now to the sequels. Like, how did this downward spiral? I think, as I've seen a lot of people want to see more of that, I guess, to make the sequels make more sense on his character, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like Mando and both, I mean, they're doing that, and I'm wondering, do you think that's going to continue, or do you think we won't? I don't know.
I think we're just going to see Luke learning how to train. He's going to be involved in this big arc that's coming up. But I mean, they're not going to take him in this small time frame that we're going to go through with the Mandoverse. They're not going to take him from Luke we know now to Luke and TLJ. It's not. We'll see the beginning of the training, but that's about it, I would think.
Yeah.
And throughout this era, right, the Mando era, which is really what it is. Just all these shows are intertwined. That's why I've got to stop a week later again. looking back at it, realizing, okay, Boba Fett is a Boba Fett show in name and chapter. We got him in place where he needs to be for this big arc, is what the deal is.
Right.
And that's we're just getting him in place, getting his crew built, all of this, connecting him back to Mando. That's what it is to get this over. The same kind of thing is going to happen in Ahsoka, and they'll have this kind of connection and know where everybody is, and then
I know
that's how I see it anyway.
Yeah, I know Ernie brought this up, and Ernie was talking about the Boba Fett basically becoming the leader of Mandalore.
Eventually,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, now I as I see that, I go, yeah, that's cool. And then I go, okay, but what they gave us, and again, the future is always moving, right? But what they gave us, I just don't see it anymore. I don't see Boba Fett moving on from what we just got.
I think it's going to have to. We're going to have more Boba Fett growth over Mando season 3 and over time, right? This Boba becoming the Mandalore, which I completely agree with Ernie on. I think that's going to happen. It's not going to happen in Mando 3. It's going to happen at the end of this whole saga. Somehow the Empire, whether it be Thrawn or somebody that under him, is going to have the Darksaber. It could be Gideon again. It could be anybody, right? And he's going to fight them, and Boba Fett will have to come in for the save, take it, beat him, and then all of a sudden Boba Fett's going to have the Darksaber. Right when it's all coming to a conclusion, he's going to end up holding it. Mando will have Grogu and do his thing. You know, it'll all fall into place right at the end where everybody should be. Fennec will take over the Syndicate, or they left it for Cobb. I mean, he's right there in the building.
Right, and that's why I was saying totally that the Book of Boba Fett's going to go down as the one that tied it all together. I think that's all this was trying to show us, and all of this content that we're going to be getting now from Obi-Wan to Ahsoka to everything that's coming out. It's going to show how the whole universe ties together. I mean, we know that, but the importance what Disney Plus is doing with all these shows and how everything has an arc. So no, I don't think anybody is gone like that. Like you're saying, well, you know, Boba Fett's done now. We're done. Let's get to season 2. No, I think he was going to show up in Mando 3 and like that. Just like I was saying, with that, I mean, we had the meeting of Luke and Ahsoka. So are we going to see Luke and Ahsoka again? Is there something more that she needs to teach him, or he feels that he needs to teach her and show up in that arc to help?
I think they left it open when he said, "Am I going to see you again?" And she said, "We never know." I don't think it'll be for teaching. I think it'll be for that us against the Empire, the remnants of the Empire.
Right? Who's left? Okay, the remnants, and then there's your Carson Teva going around trying to piece stuff together of, you know, something's going on, and trying to teach these new, as you would call it, rookies that he's been with, you know, of there's something more going out here than just us patrolling or having that. You know, I see the Mando again, and that's what I'm saying. It's all going to tie. It all has to tie together for a major story, and where we sit and think of the prequels like, wow, okay, that's a lot.
What's neat is this is a setup that normally for Mando 3, we talked about in this whole thing, that they could have and would have in the past just put into a comic form or a book form to fill in some gap, right? And then you'd have to fill it in. What's awesome is they didn't do that. They could have easily done that. They gave us the side story, which may not look right now like it matters as much as it does, but instead of a comic, we got it in live action. So everybody should be happy when you look at it a week later.
Yeah. Well, see, even more so of what we got into when I said that whole episode and the show together brought everything in. It brought the cartoons to life. It brought video games, comic books, showing that all that is for a reason. Where you're saying, when in the past, you're right, that's all we would have got. Now it's like, well, you better pay attention to everything. And if you don't, that's still okay, because we're going to show it to you and it's going to work. I mean, it will work as far as long as Hasbro doesn't just repaint a figure and throw it out there. If we were to get Hasbro away from that, then maybe stuff can work.
Because what would happen if somebody's just a Mando fan, they don't want to watch Boba Fett, and they jump into Mando 3, and all of a sudden Grogu's back with them. It's much easier to say, you know what, check out a couple episodes of Book of Boba Fett instead of telling them, hey, how about you go grab this comic? Because then the argument will be, I shouldn't have to read a book or a comic to fit something in. But you can't give that argument to another TV show.
Exactly.
Doing the same. So
that you could just click over and watch.
Just a couple episodes, not even the whole thing.
You know what? They'll even probably at episode 1 of Mandalorian season 3, we'll have a recap of how Grogu got back in his hand.
Previously on
the Book of Boba Fett.
Boba Fett, and then into that. Exactly.
You know what's interesting? And I'll throw this out there too, is watching what we got. It totally just flipped everything in my mind what season 3 of the Mando could have been or what we were expecting, right? We basically got all these answers and something brand new. I mean, we still got the whole Darksaber, Gideon, Bo-Katan, all that stuff still, and it also makes me wonder. Say Boba Fett goes off and he does the Mandalorian story, like you guys were saying. Fennec takes over the Syndicate. Cobb Vanth, the same thing. Grogu coming back into the arms of the Mando. What if Mando's story did a 180 and he went off into the Luke and Ahsoka story instead of going off?
I think by the time the Mandalore story is done, the Ahsoka story is going to be well.
So
done.
You think it could be both? It could still. It's
all going to happen. That's how
okay.
it all culminates. I think we kind of end with the montage of the Empire is being defeated. Boba Fett's on top of here. Grogu and Mando are off doing this. Fennec's over here doing this. And now Luke is starting.
Yeah.
And at the very end of this whole saga, the entire saga is when we get our Ben drop off from Han.
No, that's when we get the Mod Squad spinoff that Crystal here is looking forward to.
I'm sure that'll be high ratings.
Yes.
I'm dreading when they release a Funko Pop.
Because you're gonna have to get it.
I'm gonna have to. I'm able to say no to the Visions ones because I can just say I don't need them. Right. But this one's in Book of Boba Fett. I'm gonna have.
Well, you can say no to Visions because Visions aren't canon.
Correct.
Yes, exactly.
Right. But
it's
the Mod
easier.
Squad is.
Mod Squad's right in there. I gotta have them. They go.
And they're gonna hit you hard.
Yeah.
They're gonna give you all 4 bikes that connect together into a scene.
Yeah, it's gonna be. They'll go on my Mandos and Randos shelf over here, right in the
back.
There
you
go.
Mandos and Randos. I like
what's a cool thing? And I was talking to Fanboy Mike. We have our weekly meeting. One of our 6th member that comes on every once in a while. In the
7. 7. You cannot forget Force Ghost John.
No, how can we? Because he's
always here.
You're right.
He's right there in the middle
between me and Joe. Yeah.
Pour one out
it in.
And I don't know if we talked about this or whatever, and we were talking about why Luke did not come with Grogu, and we just made fun and said, "Here, take your shirt and get the hell out of here."
Yeah, I don't want you.
What it was?
But what if this is the same time frame where Luke had the choice? Okay, I'm going to take you back to Mando. You made your choice, right? And then all of a sudden, Han and Leia showed up with Ben and saying this kid needs help. Probably more whatever, and maybe it's at the same time frame where Luke took in Ben and sent off Grogu away from.
I think Ben needs to be a little bit older.
Older, you think?
A little bit. So I think we need some time jumps within the saga first, because this isn't going to be over a year. The Ahsoka, the Mando 3, everything else. It's going to be a minute. Because I think we're going to see Grogu grow quite a bit too. I think we're going to start. Star Wars is time jumps. They all forget that. I mean, it's like the sequel stuff seems to forget time jumps exist. The originals, the sequels, there's tons of time jumps.
Again, Book of Boba Fett. I was so happy we finally actually got timelines.
If they'd have just fucking told me where the hell.
yeah. But it was still there. You know what I mean?
It was a 4 or 5 year time jump. There was one. Yeah, we just didn't realize it.
It's because they're terrible at conveying time. But how do you convey time in this kind of a format? It's really tough to do. You'd think they would have done it by having the sand people, the Tusken Raider child grow a little, but they didn't.
That would have been the ticket right there. Oh, that sucker got taller, didn't he?
Yeah. That or changing outfits. I know he got his garb at the very end, but he was in the white jumpsuit for how long?
We don't know that very end was the very end. We don't know. That could have been
That's true,
4
too.
years before, and he wore that garb forever. We don't.
Very true.
We don't have any idea.
You're right.
But I think that's what's gonna. I hope that's what's gonna happen. Was the time jump in Mandalorian at some point. We can't see Grogu as a baby forever, right? And the rumor of the new.
How long does it take him to age? That's the problem. I mean, at 50, he's an infant still.
Yeah, I think we've seen him do a bunch of growing really from the first episode, because you're rewatching it. He was tiny in that first bit, right? And he seemed more baby-like, and he doesn't seem as baby-like now. Don't you think, or no?
Not in really. My head? I mean, it's still the cooing, and it's still just a little. Yeah, he's
at 450. He's middle-aged. So
Yoda was how old with Luke when he died?
900.
So baby say
again, and Yoda could have died premature. I don't know. He could, or it could have been, hey, you live long for this species.
Well, no, like Scott was saying, how long is that baby stage? How long is that baby stage?
Or does he all of a sudden shoot? That's the thing. Does he grow gradually, or is all of a sudden it's like, baby, oh shit, you're 15?
Right.
You know, or
Right.
is it from, like I've been talking about, is it from force usage? And the more he does it and the more he uses it and the more he masters it, he's going to start getting older and older and older. And the fact that he was closed off from it for so long is why he stayed so young.
That would actually
and
be
he didn't
really cool for that
advance.
That would be
species,
cool.
just that kind of thing where they could be immortal,
Well, then-
basically, if they never use the
Damn.
force, but they're so
Yeah.
force powerful that it's almost hard not to. And as they
How
use, they deplete their life force.
How much force did Yaddle use? She
We never
used
got
a lot of
confirmation on
force.
Yaddle, did we?
She was
Did we
only
get a
20 years
confirmation on her?
She used that force a lot.
Just stop using the force. I told you.
Yeah.
I'll
But
tell
I
you, that's
never
why
did
That's why
that.
Yoda can jump out, use a cane, all of a sudden jump up and fight Dooku, right? And then
He
get
just
real tired
aged
again
100
and
years.
go.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then- yeah, he aged a bunch. Grogu has to go take a nap every time because he's going up by 3 weeks
Yeah.
every time he does something.
That's funny.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting. And it's why there's so few of them, and that's why they're so powerful with the force too. So
I mean, I think it would work. I mean, we have Groot, who was baby Groot, and
Right.
everybody loved it. Then we had teenage Groot.
And
Everybody still
hated
loves
it.
that too.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that was still hilarious.
Right.
Him going off using his mouth, and that's where I would then love to see. I would love to see teenage Grogu with Ben.
right.
Like I've always said, that'd be hilarious, and Ben just hates him.
that would be cool. I would like
know.
to see them fighting. I think we passed that. Unfortunately, I think Grogu's done with that. I really do. I think he's, if anything, somehow, like who was saying a minute ago, Mando somehow links in with Ahsoka and they chill and
I
go
did.
for a
Yeah,
while.
I was thinking maybe that's where a story might go.
Yeah,
because
kind
there's
of
so many
like the
curveballs
Rebels
at it.
crew would have done, and maybe they go on a mission to find something because we're gonna have the First Order starting up too, right?
Well, if we're
Yeah.
doing Mando
Yeah.
with Ahsoka, I mean, we have Ezra.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what has he done with the Force?
Or do we?
Is he with
yeah.
Thrawn and turned dark side? Is he what?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be, man? That would be, in my opinion, that would be so just depressing if Ezra fell to the dark side in Thrawn's thrall. But
it would be
Yeah.
weird. It would be weird because it's Thrawn. He didn't fall for it for Maul as much, and he fell for it for Thrawn because Thrawn, I don't think, understands the Force enough. I know he doesn't understand the Force enough, and I just don't know, man. I just don't see him turning him.
But Ezra-
Thrawn's a weird cat,
Ezra seems so gullible though. Like he was so easy to sway this way and sway
That's
that
true.
way.
Mhm.
that's true.
And
Well,
under
in the
Thrawn,
end,
the
he seemed-
dictatorship.
And in the end, he seemed so sure of himself, so self-assured,
Yeah.
and so confident, and ready to take out
Yeah.
Thrawn. I just feel like
yeah.
if
And-
we did fall, that would just be it'd be such a bummer, man.
But all that also came right at the death of Kanan.
Yeah.
Mm.
So he has
Mhm.
all of that. He came up with this plan. Okay, I'll get them all out. Now he's stuck with Thrawn. Whatever happened to them?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how I could see it. And
It's just gonna be weird. I can't wait to see what happens because it could be a bunch of different ways. But I gotta imagine. Well, I know it's gotta be that Thrawn's coming back as the main villain, not as help, right? Even though if he turned it, it'd be quite fine.
It makes
But-
sense what they've given us. It makes sense on his past. It makes sense on his character to finish that timeline or his
Talking
story,
about
right?
generational stuff
Well-
and things, right? I had somebody the other day was talking on Twitter about, if you think Thrawn's going to be the villain here, you haven't read a Thrawn book, and I'm tell me you haven't read a Thrawn book, right? Because ever until 2018 is the problem, right? They don't know that he has a past that's different from pre-Return of the Jedi to post-Return of the Jedi. There's a completely different Thrawn here. So I don't know, man. It's gonna be hard to see what they do with him. I'm excited for it, obviously.
I am too. Yeah.
You know what? I was thinking today, we keep thinking about linking up with this stuff, right? The Mando verse we know of, okay?
Right.
But we've seen in Bad Batch 1, they linked already to it, talking about Mount Tannis, right?
Correct.
We got to assume that's going to go a little further in Bad Batch 2, which I believe will be coming out right around Kenobi time, right around the same time. And then, but what about Kenobi and Andor linking to it too? What if this cloning thing is an overarching piece through all of it?
I got
You see some cloning stuff in Andor. You see you
Yeah.
hear the cloning stuff when Kenobi's going to deal with his stuff off planet, and then all of a sudden, that's why there's got to be a reason it's doing it in these orders,
So
right?
I was I kind of like looking at other people's fan theories and stuff like that, and there was one that was kind of interesting, and it excuse me, it dealt with the Andor series, meaning we're going to get a lot of flash forwards, on Andor because of the stuff that he's doing and he's involved in. This is what I've heard as rumored or whatever. we're actually going to see and confirm that the blue essence, the Emperor his death, goes to Exegol.
Shut up.
And
I will find the episode where we talked about that.
I'm telling you, that's what when it was reiterated, I was like, oh my God, because it makes perfect sense. And again, grain of salt, guys. The rumor is that, you know, not George Lucas himself, but they are filming original trilogy shots to extend the Battle of Yavin and the Battle of Endor with the Emperor scene for the Cassian Andor series to be flash forwarding, because Andor has discovered things, and it was like this whole thing. You're might see the whole cloning thing. You're gonna see Snoke. You're gonna see the Emperor's essence, Exegol. That is like makes more sense because, well, think about it.
I would think so. That's
they already greenlit season 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
of what? Of Andor?
I knew 2. I didn't know about 3.
Yeah, 3. Well, they greenlit both. They said 3 definitely. 2
Cassian?
is yes. That was
but he dies before
1. How could he?
They're not
because this prequel here is going.
He was 6 years old.
Yeah, exactly. They're going way back with Cassian. I don't think 3 though. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'll look it up again because it was when they announced that Cassian season 2 has been greenlit. They've also said 3 in that same sentence.
Because this is years before Rogue One. Years, right?
And we're gonna flash forward a lot too.
He doesn't even have K2 yet, so I can see where we get a second season. I didn't know the third, but I can see flash forward is weird.
Cassian's interesting because we think of it as just a spy thriller. Again, you know, whatever. But again, these curveballs that they've been throwing us.
But what's he got to be looking for?
But again, in Rogue One, all of those programs that they were going through, you know, Cinder, all that stuff, right? There's a lot
was
of
said out loud.
Yeah, and stuff like that, where I heard that it was going to be, like I said, we're going to see Andor do stuff, and it was going to be flash forwarding to like the Emperor and time, and it just makes everything make sense to me if they did that, if they went that route, because again, let's just say 2 confirmed, 2 season spy thriller. I don't know how far that goes in our Star Wars world, right?
But flashing forward to a time after he's dead.
But it's the plot.
It's not him. It's not his part. It's what's gonna happen. I don't understand how I would have to see a flash forward, to be honest.
Yeah. See how
so obviously it's not flash forwarding from Cassian's head. It's just
right
within the story.
So basically, it's like say he finds a Operation Cinder or something, like a plan, some kind of plan or something like that. It's gonna flash forward and show. It also station of that.
Yeah, it also could be Andy and Cassian Andor is a big flashback anyway, and it's scenes moving. It's like that forward and backward thing. So
I see that more. Like we're in the whichever part's happening, the Emperor and the Battle of Yavin.
It's Kill Bill. It's
Kill Bill.
Oh, Tarantino's doing Andor.
Tarantino, yeah.
Oh, I got it. So
where the beginning is the end is the middle, and the middle is the beginning.
But doesn't that? Okay, again, guys, grain of salt. We're just talking here. We're talking it up. Doesn't that make Andor a little more exciting to talk about? I mean, I was already excited because I love the character. I love that era. But
I don't know if the flash forwards do, because that's going to confuse me. But the thought about it being connected to the overall Mando.
The only way to be connected is to show newer footage, and then Andor's, like I said, like maybe again the storytelling part.
You could just connect it with links like they did with Bad Batch. Now we have Fennec linked to Bad Batch. We have Cad Bane in both. We have links and Mount Tannis. It's easy to do that without flashing to the scene. Andor, when we have people come into Andor, you could see Gideon. To connect to Mandalorian with the cloning stuff, right? With dealing with that cloning stuff. And that's what Andor is looking for. That immediately connects easily. And they have Grogu.
Yeah. Blake Hollowell says it's a weird concept. I'm interested. And again, it's a weird concept.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Scott. Yeah.
I'm very like Blake. I'm interested in the concept. I don't think it's going to happen that way though, because we always bring it back to the Muggles, the people that don't get it, that just casually tune into Star Wars. That's gonna.
It needs some creative story. It needs some creative writing to do it. I totally agree. Yeah. And that's why I think, for example, you can open on this. You can open on 10 years after Return of the Jedi, right? And on Exegol or the cloning facilities or whatever Bad Batch is going to bring us in back to Tannis. And then we can also in creative filmmaking. Go back to Andor's the one who discovered or all this stuff because of his actions, and then we have series and episodes going in, but it means this other picture, and that's what it's like. You think about it, you go, God, guys, from what Mandalorian did to us, what they did with Luke, with the Boba Fett, I'm in. It's like I don't put it past this kind of storytelling. And then
I have faith, but that I think would just freak out the people that don't watch everything on a regular basis.
Yeah,
but I think somehow Andor will connect to Kenobi somehow. Right, because they're both dealing with the Bail Organas and the Mon Mothma. Well, Bail Organa most. He's going to be the connection between those two, right?
And
then like I said, the cloning stuff will happen. Andor will see it somehow. Kenobi will get wind of it. They'll connect each other into that. Which when they're done with their side of the story, then it'll jump forward and we'll be in the Mandalorian season 2 when we saw the cloning stuff. And,
like I said, Andor got greenlit for season 2. We don't even have anything.
And you're saying season 3?
Well, I heard and read 3, but again, I will make sure before I put that out as official.
But greenlit is 2. But greenlit is 2 confirmed.
Official. Yeah,
it's official.
100%
I can text
official.
I can text my friend and I can text my friend and ask. Let me.
2 and 3 has been greenlit, but I read 2
Filoni,
and 3. Again,
it's E-Dog. Is season 3 greenlit for Andor? Let me know. Hit me up, bro.
Oh.
Okay,
you're not on first name basis anymore. Like
he likes when I call
you had to
Filoni.
go back to Filoni.
Yeah, he likes that. It's easier. So I'll see what happens.
But that excites me a lot more, and again makes our wheels spin. Like Scott said, makes how are they going to do this? That's the interesting part because linear storytelling is boring sometimes. Maybe it should have worked better in the Book of Fett, but again, more creative and how they jump back and forth. For example, I was watching, and again, this is not so much of a tangent, but I was watching Breaking Bad again, going through the whole world thing, everything, and they did exactly that, where they were introduced a character, and the next episode would be like 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Or it'd be 10 years from now. It'll be like a forward. They did a very creative way of doing it. So I
guess
know,
it's like This Is Us, where like you don't know what time frame you're in.
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
Marco's not that in touch with his feeling.
Oh no, my internet's going down.
All right, Dick.
But that's cool.
I'll loan you a Cure CD and you can get more in touch with your feelings. And you can start watching This Is Us. And anyway,
I don't know, man. Like that's
and maybe Friday you'll be in love.
Maybe.
I promise not to cry because
boys don't cry.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
All right, guys. Well, it was fun
tonight. Thank you, Chris, for saving me. I almost grew hair over my eye.
That's so sad.
Stop it, Chris. All you need is a love song.
I don't get it.
Hey, help us out.
I got the first few references. Yeah. Right. Move along.
Kenobi was again. We're now, like I said, I like to think of it now, from now until May 25th, or even past it. I like to think of us as in the era of Kenobi now. Now our attention is going to be, switching over to that, because now I get really excited about I'm going to go watch the prequels again. I'm going to watch, the original trilogy. I'm going to read up on stuff that we've gotten on Kenobi, right? Like just to get in the mood. Clone Wars is perfect. I'm going to go revisit that now. And that's everybody. We have time. Before it was trying to revisit the bounty hunters, all that stuff. And that's what excites me a lot, is like, we get
going back to study and getting back into it. And right after we were done, I went to Rise of Skywalker. Just go ahead and watched it in so long. Right? I gave it another chance, and then I had rinsed my eyes right out with Attack of the Clones.
Right. I mean, geez, that's tough, man. That's tough.
Back to back, Jack.
Crowd here.
We've always mentioned this too, as
Attack of the Clones.
The sequels need the sequels need bonus content. They need marination. They need Disney Plus to save the story going forward and all that stuff, right? We need to see. I don't know
about saving. They need to beef it up. They need to give us more. They need to fill in those gaps.
Is there a way that Disney Plus can change it so much that we, because I know people's feelings here in the room, that we will actually revisit the sequels and be like, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. I know Chris revisited Rise of Skywalker this weekend, and Joey.
Listen, Joe.
Well, I was on the What's Worth Watching show with Adrian. And,
what up, Adrian?
And we were talking about that, and I was telling them that a lot of the spin-off shows that we're having, like Boba Fett, Mandalorian, all the ones that are coming, maybe some in the future, they're gonna do to the sequels like what the Clone Wars did with the prequels.
I hope so.
The prequels had a little bit of hate on them and everything, and the Clone Wars came out, and all of a sudden, bam, they're just alive.
It did revitalize
them
it
up. Yeah,
absolutely.
Gave them
I
more
can see
meat.
the same thing happening with the sequels with all these new shows that are coming out. They're gonna add the salad dressing on our salad.
Yep,
pretty much.
I still think they need stuff in between, though. Like either during or in between.
They do, but there's a lot of good stuff. Like Rise of Skywalker, there was a lot of cool stuff, but we don't have enough background to it, right? Like Exegol, as an example, is badass. Exegol in an idea, a Sith planet in the unknown regions, all this stuff is badass. I want more story about it, and they need to do that somewhere else to give me more and more and more, right? And hell, it might be in the comics right now, but I'm so far behind in the comics, right?
Right.
But give me that somewhere in your Disney Plus in a flashback. Give me more, and they could beef that up through these shows and give us a story about Exegol inside the Acolyte.
Yeah.
All of a sudden shit.
And again, again, talking about the Cassian Andor having those kind of things, the cloning and the Emperor's story, I think should be a little bit more beefed up, because that would make the sequels.
That's what's happening right now. We're about to beef up the Emperor story, dude. We don't even realize how beefed up this is going to be. And you're right. Palpatine is going to show up in Andor and Kenobi. I'm sure of it. And there's no way we go through these two series without seeing Palpatine in both of them. And I think that's where the story is going to come up, and we're going to really get it. I could see him. I could see us seeing Palpatine at Mount Tannis, in front of the Snoke clones, and seeing Grogu. Like, this could be live action stuff, guys. I mean, I honest to God think we're going to see Emperor Palpatine with Grogu at some point in these series. There's a lot of cool things that could happen.
Well, he is the subject of the blood that they wanted for the test host or the host.
You start seeing that stuff, right? Yeah. And all of a sudden, the sequels, when somehow Palpatine returned, you're like, damn straight, somehow Palpatine returned. I seen what he was doing in
that's the connections I'm looking for, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I'm looking for. Those kind of like, man, what that crawl comes up on Rise of Skywalker, I'm like, it's been there. These guys in, like that, and see, that excites me. I don't know how far away that is too, but
like one of the things is like I want to see like how the Emperor brought, like, say he got his first successful clone of Snoke, right? How did he train him or make him come alive to be what he is in starting off the Snoke that we see? How did he obviously there had to be some training and some type of teaching to get Snoke to where he is.
Yeah, because he can't just be mind puppeting him all the time, right? He can't be just complete control. There's no way. So you're right. He's got to train him and teach him. And I would imagine it's kind of like, not to bring him up yet again, but Sabayoth, right?
Right.
Like Sabayoth was a clone. Who trained him? Is it because he had memories of somebody else that had training and knew something, right? Sabayoth thought he was himself to a point.
Right.
So I mean, I guess,
and that's to be Emperor's thing. Like I was Snoke, I was Vader. I have all the voices in your head.
Or Snoke was a real person, a real Force user, and now he's using them as the test subject, but needs somebody else's blood. And they're going to do dark side and light side blood to make it work.
Yeah,
he was ugly. It still gets me every time is that how huge we thought that he was.
Right.
Yeah. From the
when we first saw the holocron.
Oh, he's a giant.
We thought he was like 40 feet tall.
For real.
I think Chris and I both kind of like, once we realized it was a holocron, we're like, oh, we don't need a big ass ice giant and
but I still get mad at that.
Because it would have been cool.
Like, what if he looks the way he looks because he's not because of deformities from him being cloned, but the Emperor just thrashed him to where he's got scars all over him.
The rise of Kylo Ren mentioned that it was his scars were because of a battle with Luke. There was a brief mention in that. Yeah, it was.
But that's what Snoke said, right? True. Because remember Palpatine. The battle with the Jedi have left me scarred.
Yeah,
right. But also we did see the Snoke clones. It's like. Yeah, I do think Snoke was a being within itself, but we saw multiple of the same
because they all look the same scarred, right?
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah,
like so at very first when I first watched Rise of Skywalker, right? This is so funny how our chat goes. We went from Boba Fett to whatever, go to Rise of Skywalker. So cool.
And hopefully that's what they're doing.
Yeah. So and
seriously,
when I first walked out of the theater and when that was said to be revealed, I took it literally at a point, like the Emperor was projecting himself into this like that was him, but then it's like but no, his body's on Exegol, right? Like, is he doing two things? Is he that is a like splitting his essence into two things? Then I'm like, well, okay, maybe Snoke was an actual person to have all this royalty around, like this, meaning, whatever. And then I still don't know. Like Joey said, was he being manipulated? Was he a puppet? And we know he was a clone body because of those things, but was it the Emperor himself, or was it just like, I sent Snoke to get into your ear, but essentially it was me. You know what I mean? Like, I was Vader.
I think that's what it is. He was my puppet in a not a literal sense, because I think it almost feels like that when he's saying it, when he does the voices with Vader and everyone else, right? It feels like he's but we know he wasn't Vader. Well, I guess he could have been.
He could have been.
He was at that point.
Meaning he had his claws in not but like I manipulate, and that's how I took it. And all the Snoke bodies that we saw, that needs some explanation. That needs, because that was in Mando season 3. Or
it just sounds more like possession instead of a puppet. He's possessed. He's more like possessed him.
Yeah, it's weird. We need more. We need more. But
the thing is, if he possessed him, a true, it obviously wouldn't be a essence transfer, because then he could just live in him. He wouldn't need his ratchety old body, right? So there's the confusion in that part to me a little bit. So it's either he's puppeteering him once in a while, like straight up in charge of him, or he trained him to do exactly what he wants. That's all I don't know. They got to clear it up. I don't want to guess that. There's too many things that could go wrong with that.
It's like because in him getting killed in Last Jedi just was like totally makes sense, would have been really cool if he killed him and then Snoke came back in Rise of Skywalker, and then like I was like, I thought I killed you. It's like, there's tons of us, dude. Like, we are all clones of the Emperor kind of stuff, and that would have been cool. Like,
well, you know what's funny? There could be still Rey's dad Rey's dad was out and loose. It wasn't like he was kept. Sure. They could be cloning people and just go. You suck. And move along. They're out there making little baby Palpatines everywhere. We could go 500 years in the future, and all of his, descendants are rock and roll on Exegol. We don't know.
Yeah, like I said, the sequels are by far finished, in my opinion.
Can you highlight Gordon's one there at 8:48?
Yep,
about Tross. That's funny. I texted this week that same thing.
There are some really good moments in the Rise of Skywalker. Rey and Kylo's saber battle in the giant waves is pretty cool.
That's a fantastic scene. Fantastic, start to finish, from the start of the fight to Han dealing with it, and the Leia getting involved. That is beautiful. Start to finish. That incredible.
And there again, picking and choosing the moments of the sequels, like that poetry of the redemption of Kylo, kind of, but Leia fitting in that whole thing, and then her moving on, becoming one with the Force, because that was her last moment to save her son. Those are the poetic Star Wars moments I really liked,
And the scene itself, the fight itself was sick too. And in the waves, everything else. So between the visual, the story, the music, that's one of those perfect Star Wars scenes.
It really is. And the whole of the Rise of Skywalker, though, like I replied to Gordon, it's fantastic moments wrapped in questionable decisions. It just, there's a lot in there that's like, what, why? But then it's surrounded by, oh my God, this, rip your heart out kind of emotions.
Agree. 100% agree. Like Gordon just said, he thinks JJ was compromising story. Continue with the fanfare. The fanfare was in our face a lot. The battle at the end wasn't really a battle. It was just.
It wasn't fan service. I'm glad you didn't say fan service, because it wasn't. More fanfare. Trying to make up for things that had happened. Like, for example, the one that kind of gets me and pulls me out a little bit is, okay, it's Leia twofold. I know Leia kind of pulls me out in the beginning, because I can tell they wrote scenes around her to make it work, and it kind of, but it's Leia, so you're supposed to just be happy about it, but kind of pulls me out.
Right.
And later, oh shoot, I just lost it now. Which part was it? It was Leia again. She only does like 5 things.
Yeah, right.
Well, what was the last thing?
her saying goodbye, or the training Rey in the beginning, or her communication with the fleet.
Damn it! It was at the end, and I just lost it. Go. Let's move on. Damn it! As soon as I do it, I'm gonna interrupt whoever's talking.
That's fine.
Throw it out there. All right.
I agree, though. Watching that, and it's like we always had that question in our head, like, how are they gonna do this? How are they gonna rework Leia into this story? Maybe they should have left her.
Sorry, you're done. All right. After she passed, Chewbacca lit a fit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Way over dramatic for Chewie. Don't get me wrong. He should do that. But Chewbacca has seen a lot of death. Unless
it wasn't like she was gunned down, right?
Unless that's just the last straw, and Chewie had a meltdown. It was making up for the Han.
That's how I took it.
That's what it was.
And I took it as the last straw, because he had already lost Han. Now he'd lost Luke, and now he'd lost Leia. He's got nobody but his family somewhere. And
and basically, like, what is it? 5 days.
Yeah.
This
really 5 days.
This comment right here, Scott Bravo. What's up, other Scott?
What's up, Scott?
I
saw him today.
The major thing for his person was Anakin died in vain with the Emperor remaining relevant. This was my biggest complaint with the sequels, of not fitting Anakin in this storyline, because I had a personal connection to Anakin's story for 6 movies, and it didn't continue even with Kylo. It started in the Force Awakens
helmet.
Correct. And I'm going to finish what you started. All these things, right? Oh, does he know something we don't know that what did he discover? Does he have his, is he in a hologram? All these things could have been like wrapped up. That's why I was like, okay, every movie we kept theorizing an Anakin connection, because it needed to be, like as Rey, an incarnation of Anakin, the Force, he's born of the Force. Why couldn't he be reborn of all these things? And they never, ever did anything. And that's why and that's what's missing in the moving forward too, in the books and Disney Plus so far, is Anakin's story. I know we had a lot of it, but I felt Anakin was a lot more important to the overall Skywalker saga than the 6 movies we got. I think there's
in the beginning, though, in the beginning, pre-1999, it was Luke's story.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
This was from the Journal of Luke Starkiller. You know what I mean?
It was.
Like, so it wasn't until the prequels, and all of us talked about just in these terms, exactly these terms. Oh, we just realized that this is Anakin's story, not Luke's. Right? That's how we all learned it in 99 through. Well, oh shoot, we thought this was all going to be Luke's story. Now it's Anakin.
As George Lucas made it up as he went along. Yes.
Exactly. So what happens? I just see that as passing the torch, right? And now here's Luke. Whether I like it or love it or hate it or whatever, here's Luke passing the torch to Rey, and that's the one to end up beating. And they all have to beat the Emperor in their own way, right? I mean, that's right. Vader has to turn around, needs Luke to do it, right? But Luke's really the one that turned Vader back, and so they combined for it. And then he needed Rey and basically Luke's Vader's grandkid to come in there and do it. So it's like it all does. It's just not as tight as you'd like it, because they could have done the Anakin Force Ghost and Vader Force Ghost like they had planned in the concept art and all that, right? The dark and the light. That would have been some sick stuff to see. And that would have been cool, additional lore. It would have helped bring Anakin in full circle for it, like you're saying. But I can go around it by thinking they're passing the torch. And
we had this discussion about the Chosen One and all these things that were brought up that were just never finalized, or they were finalized and maybe we just thought there was more to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all. That's all. And that's what the whole again, when the announcements of the sequels, that's was like, oh my God, we're gonna explore more of this and get down into it, and they went the direction they're going to. And it's more about the Emperor now. It's more
when
about,
it comes down to it, when you look at all 3 of them together, they're not a lot of deep lore. There's adds to the story, not a lot of deep lore stuff, right? Like we didn't learn a lot.
No, we didn't. No, Gordon's comment.
Luke shows up as a Force ghost while Rey is fighting the Emperor and whispers, "Kill him a lot,
a lot. Kill him until he dies from it.
Kill him again." Well, Luke's job was to face Vader, because I think Obi-Wan and Yoda knew that Vader or Anakin was going to be the one who killed the Emperor, not Luke. Because if by Luke facing Vader, Vader would turn because he still got good in him and stop the Emperor and just kill him.
Oh no, I don't think Anakin and Yoda think that at all. I think Anakin and Yoda are like,
Obi-Wan and Yoda.
Sorry, obviously Anakin doesn't think he should kill Anakin.
I think because I think Yoda knew that he was training him to face Vader. That's it. He wasn't training him really to be a Jedi. It's like, you must face Vader, because
to kill him, not to turn him.
No, to face Vader, not to, because Vader is the one who, this is my theory, right? It's
yeah.
Obi-Wan, because even Obi-Wan said, like, if you won't face Vader, then the Emperor's already won. Because they were like, you need to go face it because they're, Anakin in this whole prophecy again. I'm gonna put my head back 20 years ago. In the prophecy thing, Vader to complete full circle. Why we said bring balance to the Force, when meaning you'd have to get rid of the high good and the high bad and bring it, all those theories that we had, right? And I was like, okay, in my mind, Luke was way too old, but he was destined to face his father to turn him back to the light side, and then so Anakin could finish the job, essentially.
But he says, "I can't kill my own father." Well, then the Emperor has.
But he did though.
Won.
But he did face him. He did do it. Like that was his
Jedi. That was his Jedi trial to me. And you couldn't eventually beat the Emperor until you were a Jedi Knight. You could probably face your father, kill him, and as your trial, and then you have to face the Emperor, his boss. I like that opinion. I like that thought, but I just don't see. I think Yoda and Anakin were scared. They were trying to kill Vader in the first place. They literally wanted to. That's Yoda sent Obi-Wan to kill Anakin. I mean, shit, for all intents and purposes, Obi-Wan did. He was letting him burn. It's not like he was leaving him to be saved. He had no idea the Emperor was going to send someone to come get him.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, as you see that scene go through, it's such a memorable scene. I mean, the whole he thought he was dead. I hate you. You were oh God, dude. Yeah. I love that scene. He picks it up and he walks away. He really that's it.
He does it for dead. Yeah.
Which is pretty jacked up. As you're saying, I love you, but I'm gonna let you sit here and burn for a few hours in agony. Cool? Like, that was kind of jacked up. Just
that was for all the younglings.
Yes, and I really hope we visit that in Kenobi, where it's not always. It's not just that he beat him.
Yes,
it's like that. I let him sit there.
I think that's where.
Oh man,
he let him lay there to suffer.
Yeah, and I think that confrontation, I think that's going to come up. You left me for dead. Like, you didn't even bother. Like,
I just got to chill. I just got to chill, dude. Yeah. Vader in his mask saying that. Stop.
I mean, that's got, like I told you guys, as my expectations as a Star Wars fan, I really do want Kenobi series to have a real dire, dark tone to it. I think the timing is right. I think the conflict is right. Leaving Obi-Wan the way we did on Revenge of the Sith, him turning around, giving Luke away, and turning around and walking off. There's a sense of sadness and defeat and all these things. And to me, I want that to be. I really want to come out of this like this is a deep.
These
series.
Are the dark times.
Boba Fett was lighthearted.
These are the dark times, dude. Before the Emperor, during the Emperor. This is the dark times. So
we got our lighthearted series with Boba Fett. It was pretty lighthearted. Now we got to go into some tear fest here. I think so, and it's perfect. Anakin and Obi-Wan's relationship is perfect in that whole you left me and I'll never turn and that's maybe that's the sense of like, okay, I'll have to keep over Luke because Luke's going to be the one who defeats you. He's our only hope, right? So yeah. All cool stuff, man. And again, Disney Plus.
And we're never going to be right, and they're going to screw this up somehow. They make us fight about it. And all they have to do is listen and watch the Sarlacc digest, and they would get it straight, or just invite us up there to wherever the hell we're
Skywalker
doing.
Ranch.
40 minutes is all we need.
Ranch. Let's go. Just give us an hour, like a show. Give us a full episode. We'll talk it out, and we'll hash it out with everybody. Filoni, come on, let's talk it. We'll help you.
Yeah, because we won't get stuff like this.
Jesus H.
Oh my God!
I don't want to see it anymore.
Somebody told me that was. Did you see me on Twitter arguing with somebody about it nicely? It was like, well, that's comic accurate. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. No, that is a freaking repainted Chewbacca.
That's like literally a blackface Chewie.
Yeah.
They did so wrong.
If it was comic accurate, it would be a Wampa repainted as a Wookiee.
Did they ever have Tarful? Did they ever do a Tarful?
Not in Black Series. No.
Too bad, because guess what? They did a Tarful Funko, and all they have to do is paint that one, because guess what? That looks like a different body than Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And what they screwed up here. What a dumb move. I'm not even a Black Series collector, and it offends me.
I did not order it. I will not order it. If it's even on clearance,
I'm not ordering that. No.
I have yet to see one positive thing. Like, I have yet to see one person say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get that."
No, and
I did, and he didn't like that. I didn't like it. I was like, "You're out of your mind, dude."
Yeah,
it's an awful figure.
Cliff coming in with Sarlacc boot camp for the Star Wars Story Group. Listen up, a-holes. We're here to teach you how to do your job. A $1,000,000,000%. We'll even pay for our own expenses. We'll truck up.
We'll buy some
we
Taco
just
Bell.
want to hang out. We just want to hang out with
Right.
them and talk Star Wars and fix them.
Yeah. Look, guys, your ear's not to the ground here on a couple points here. So
going back to the Hasbro Black Series, dude, I'm done. I'm done after today.
Honestly, it's not a main line. It's a comic
pushed me
thing.
on the edge, and then I couldn't get Cad Bane today because it sold out 15 minutes
Amazon
later.
Exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but they're supposed to be better and made it up with all these other ones of being more accessible, and you're going to have a great ordering experience. And 15 minutes, it was gone. I was on a job. I couldn't. I turned it on and it all sold out. I said, all right, that's it. I'm done.
Well, the vintage collection figures from Target yesterday.
They
went on sale. Collection. I like the vintage collection, whatever. So they went on sale at Target with a limit of 2 per figure, right? Except for the dude that looks, what's his name? Axe Wolves, who looks like just a generic Mandalorian. They put him on a 10 figure limit with infinite ordering. You could just buy 10, then buy 10 more, then buy. He sold out instantaneously. So eventually they figured it out and fixed it. And I think they cut all those orders and just put them back on the site to be ordered, but it was dumb.
Yeah, if anything draws me away from this, it's the buying experience, like Ernie was saying. But honestly, guys, like, okay, it's real fast. Honestly, this is not a mainline figure. It's one of those comic things.
That actually looks better than the one that they're selling.
Yeah, because you can see the dreads
with
more.
Dreads, yeah.
I think that might be a custom.
This is a custom. This isn't the correct picture.
That's not it. Yeah,
and it's still not very great. It's still not Black Chrysanthemum as we saw him there or in comics. I don't think.
So the one with this one was that somebody was saying I could do even better still with the Black Series. Correct. I mean, that's not great.
Again, it's not a breaker. It's not a make or break for me. It's not a mainline figure. It's not. It's in the comic thing. It's in those. I didn't like Jackson. I didn't like Luke. I didn't like Darth Maul and those things. I wasn't getting them for me personally. If this was like Black Chrysanthemum mainline Boba Book of Fett, then I'd be like, okay, guys, this is. I'm not waiting for Archive to fix this stuff. You know, they have better sculptors because, quite honestly, their waves are really good. You can't deny the Bib Fortuna wave you got today.
Yes,
Scott. The wave that they, the wave that they announced. The thing is, we don't have them on our hands. It's going to be like years before we get them. That's the problem. This thing is like a weird, like Dave in the corner. He's the son of the CEO. He had to get his figure in. That's how I mean, how can they have excellent sculptors and then put this out? It's not even like
here's the actual figure right there. That's it.
Yeah. It's just laziness. That's all.
Yeah. I mean,
just throw some paint on his chest area if you want to. I mean, that looks like plastic. I know it's plastic, but I mean that just looks like generic plastic. It doesn't look like it. There's no effort put into this figure at all.
100%.
Yeah, if you're gonna do that, do a paint app on it or something.
That's chewy.
That just looks.
I think that's Solo Chewy, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's angry Chewy for sure. That's all it is. Angry Chewy.
It's wrong on every level, but again, it's the comic. It's quote unquote the comic version. I don't care.
But that's still wrong.
Hey, well, I was gonna ask.
No matter. It's not make or break for me. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I get it because it's a special side edition. Is that why? If it was in the regular picture boxes,
if they said if it was the official Black Chrysanthemum, I'd be like, I'm like, I would be.
So it's kind of like me with the Visions pops. I could give a damn about the Visions pops. I think they're silly. I'm not going to get them right. So I guess that's where you'd be with the comic Black Series.
So, me personally, I'm not a completionist, so I could skip it and move along because again, what we are getting are excellent. They're really good. I can't take that away from Hasbro.
But that one's pretty. Well, you got to take away that one, and like I said, you're not getting stuff till May 2023.
Exactly, and that would be the make or break for me, Ernie. That would be the buying experience and the year and a half out of even seeing it, and they want. That's just it's frustrating as hell.
We talked about it before the show. A pre-order, and then you're going to get it after the retailers get it, right? Yeah. Pre-orders used to be, hey, I'm going to get it in 3 months. And I'm going to get it the day before everybody else gets it because I did a pre-order. Now I'm going to get it in a year and a half, and I'm going to get it probably 4 or 6 weeks after everybody else gets it.
Probably find it at retail first, then I can cancel my order. And here's Black Chrysanthemum from
there you go. There you go.
This is what he looks like in the comics.
Yeah.
Not this.
And
That's not it, Chief. That's not it.
And Papa
Schmitty's on the floor.
Papa Schmitty's comment is 100% it resonates, and it really does. They keep talking about budgets, resource, limited releases, but put this out and save budget is better product. I 100% agree, and for the fact that like I'm very mad at this figure. Don't get me wrong. I think anything Star Wars should be 100% or nothing, all or nothing. I really do. And it comes with content, books, novels. It comes with toys, especially. They either do it right or they don't do it at all. Like I'm not pacifying saying, oh, some people will like it. No, I'm like, nobody should be buying this figure. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. But it's just not a mainline figure. That's
and it's not going to stop your collection or put a hole in your collection.
Yeah. Because he's one of my favorite characters from Book of Fett. And if this is what they're going to give us on that, I mean,
Pass.
That's horrible, dude.
You can get the Funko Pop.
I'm going to the customs after that, you know.
They'll release him eventually as a deluxe figure because he's,
just
oversized.
do it right and I'll buy it. That's all. Do it right. I'll pay the $30 and buy it.
Yeah, this is a waste though.
It really is. Again, I hope.
But they're still going to get away with it because the scalpers will buy them all up, and they're going to pre-order them and get them all, and so the Hasbro will get their money. Right? It doesn't matter. They'll get their money and they'll have them sold. So it doesn't matter. They won't listen to you. It doesn't matter if you buy them or not because the scalpers.
That's very true.
Hey, that was my question a minute ago, Ernie. Like on a resales, because you couldn't get Cad Bane today. What would you expect to pay for Cad Bane? Like at a pop thing, right?
It already sucks it.
What's it at? Go
ahead.
I was gonna say for a pop, double plus shipping is my norm if I don't get something at the store. Right. If I can't get it pre-order, unless it's some kind of weird exclusive, then you're like triple or more, right? It's some crazy, whatever the market lets it. But a normal common, I would think Cad Bane's a common, isn't he?
No, he's a raised price as well too. He was $30. It was like 28, 29.
God.
He
doesn't even have he doesn't have his rifle. He doesn't have his jacket.
So what would he go for now?
That's what pisses me off. Probably 180 to 100, which I'm not going to do. I'm not going to go chase one. I couldn't get one. You keep on talking about this good pre-order experience, and we know, and so we're doing this, and then that's what I'm saying. 15 minutes later, and he was gone. That's crap. I know what you were talking about the Target ones, Scott, but I did see him go back up, and they kind of fixed that and everything, right?
Yeah.
So
they're not fixing Cad Bane yet.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. Is it's like it's said and done. It says currently unavailable. You're right. Everything's up on eBay. I'm done with all that crap, man. It's BS. It really is. As far in the game as we've been as collectors and everything going on, I've been saying this for quite some time now. You keep screwing us, and I'm done now with all this in a week of Black Chrysanthemum. I couldn't get that Cad Bane, which is still garbage of $27.99. It's a figure. So if all figures are going up, then he should have been $24.99. Not just because you're calling him exclusive. Exclusive is just the name. All this deluxe stuff is ridiculous.
It is.
And I'm sorry, Marco, I don't agree with you either. Well, go ahead and make him a deluxe figure, and
if they make him the right shape and size.
If it was the right chrysanthemum,
I'm just and that's where I'm already done because they keep calling everything a deluxe, and there's nothing deluxe about it.
Well, I agree with you on that, Ernie. I really do, because some of those things you're looking at, like, what am I getting here for $27-$30? What am I getting? Nothing, correct. You've given us more on basic figures, and I get that. And for some reason, they feel like they can gouge you on Star Wars, and for the most part, it works. I mean,
what they should do is HasLab everything. Or at least
everything.
I'm not kidding. Like all these pre-orders take a year and a half anyway. There should never be anything sold out. You should get all your pre-orders in and make them that many of them, plus the ones you're going to give to retail. You should never have to sell out a pre-order because you should make as many as you're going to.
Yeah, and
110%.
Me and Grand Admiral Scott were talking today. I met up with them. We were talking about exactly this, and we're both like looking at Hot Toys now. Because if that's something you could wait for, you could pre-order now.
Very true.
It'd be the same money that I'm putting into when I used to get cases of stuff. Now I don't want cases. I can pick and choose if I see it when they are available. That's another thing that the whole pit is blowing up about is you pre-order this stuff and then you can't even find it. or you get it real late than anybody else, depending on where you pre-order.
Retail
from.
experience is
sitting
over.
on 5 pre-orders. Like, it's ridiculous.
The retail experience is gone. It's been gone for a while. I look at the collection as a whole, right? I look back there and all those Black Series, all like 5 cases of them, and and I look and there's some really, really cool. The line is awesome. I'm not going to take that away. And when I say like, this isn't a maker, I'm not going to give up the collection just because of 2 figures. I know now 2 figures. It is not just only 2 figures, just recently, but there's been ways that are just like, they're so good. And quite honestly, I'm at that mind frame too, where if I'm not going to go with this line, there's not going to be another 6-inch line in the future. This is it. You know what I mean? It's not like we can hold off and just wait for them to fix it or
you're
another
deep
company
in.
to come in.
So either you're selling them all or you're staying put.
Yeah, I'm all or nothing.
And you can't stay put and just end the collect. Like right now, if I just stopped collecting bobbleheaded Funkos, I'd be like, that would drive me nuts. I'd have to get rid of them or just keep going. There's no.
If I stop, I'm stopping, and this is a blank wall.
Yeah.
Chris is absolutely right. I went to storage and I pulled out 4 crates today. That's what I'm doing this weekend. They're all going up on eBay.
I'm coming over.
I've been asking you for that
for you get SH Figure Arts and Mayfex.
But that's another thing too. SH Figure Arts back in when Solo was released. Where's our Jabba the Hutt? Where's the Wicket? Where's like they just they're not
what they showed us.
Yeah, they're not coming through with every character again.
Yeah,
so,
that's just a license of what they have.
And you know what I mean, guys? It's like they're not going to fix it. They have to get an whole new team and just move on from that. And it's frustrating. It really is. It's frustrating.
Oh, you know what? If they want to hire 5 fellas in the high desert area, we could do that too. We could handle their toy division and story group. Let's do this. I mean, really, just give us the keys, guys. We'll drive this Star Wars car right into the ground.
Man. Oh, I mean, right. We'll drive it right.
Right down.
We can't do worse. I'll tell you that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I mean, again, it's volatile, Ernie. I get it. I understand. I really do, because when I saw that Black Series, I go, oh crap, oh crap. This is really gonna like get the places in uproar. And again, I really hope it fails and they're stuck with so many or whatever.
There aren't many things that Star Wars fans agree on, and for the most part, being complete shit is pretty agreeable.
I'm almost there with you too, Ernie. Though I've been, if it wouldn't have been for my find this afternoon, I was about ready to pull the plug on just about all of it too. But
again,
I get there and then I find stuff and I'm like so excited because the stuff I find, it's new. I've been hunting for it. It looks amazing, and I now have it in my hand. But
I'm more patient.
And then you're back in, right?
Yeah.
I'm more patient.
I don't know if it. Oh, go ahead.
I'll just say I'm a complete more patient than I was starting out when we were 18 years old doing this. I can pre-order. It comes out 2023. Cool. I mean, whatever. I'll eventually get it. I got a lot of figures to stare at in the meantime.
Yeah.
But again, that's just me, guys. That's my age of getting back into the collecting world and stuff like that. It's like, okay, I got a lot. I'll have a lot. I've got other lines to stare at. They will come. It just sucks.
See, but that's really also just exactly as you said. You left collecting, and then you've come back to it. I
left
stuck
the 3
with
3/4.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
No, I know, but I've stuck through it all.
Yeah,
and
I went
been
through
there,
it all.
and they're not.
You know what I'm saying? Like I went,
and now this is your edge. What you're saying, you've been through the prequels back and the red and orange cards and the green cards, and all through that you stayed, Ernie. And here you are at the Black Series, ready to dive. That shows you what they're doing. Yeah. And there's right. I mean, I lost it after Attack of the Clones, so good for you staying through all that, right?
Yeah,
and I only came back for these little stupid things, right? Back there behind me. And
I didn't miss anything. You know what I mean? I was a 3 3/4 collector. Everything. And my gap went from 3 3/4 to the 6-inch line, and then when you guys got me the Vader, that's when I really perked my interest. Like a 6-inch line, I can experience this. I gave up on a 3 3/4. I sold my collection to start a business. You know what I mean? That's what it did for me. But I experienced all of that. I mean, all the way up to episode 3. I was and a little bit beyond that. So,
and I'm the opposite. I'm more 3 3/4 inch based because of the play sets and the vehicles and everything that exists for it that doesn't exist for the 6-inch line because it can't, because I don't live in a mansion.
Right.
So, it's the 6-inch line will be the one that'll lose me, where I'll stick with 3 3/4.
Yeah, Scott. Yeah, see, Scott Bravo said, and I've mentioned this to Scott and Ernie and stuff. It goes, you know what? There's been times where I'm gonna sell all this stuff and just go Hot Toys.
Yeah,
just go Hot Toys and
these are great.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know, if I was had to save a few things, I would just grab my R2 and 3PO Hot Toys, and that's it. Everything else could go. And the Vader, you guys got me, of course. And then and that thing. Oh, and then that. And
yeah,
that started that whole mess because you didn't have a damn thing.
I didn't have any
that
figures.
Vader.
Yeah.
You can take the guy out of the collecting, but you can't take the collecting out of the guy. Exactly, Crystal.
Yeah.
That is dead on.
Once you start back up down a dark path,
there's no such thing as saving money. It's in the mind of a collector.
I've experienced the entire gamut. I experienced the excess. I experienced pre-Kenner. When Kenner didn't even come back, I experienced going to thrift stores, pawn shops, and Suncoast at the malls to find my Star Wars stuff. I experienced the massive influx of Star Wars, the reinvigorating,
the power of the Force,
all that. You go to Toys R Us, there's 50,000 Darth Mauls to choose from. I experienced hunting. I experienced all that stuff. Like, I don't feel like I've missed anything. But now we're in this thing where nothing's available and it's hard to get and it's more expensive and
as technology and things got better, buying toys got
retail
harder,
got worse.
And it should have been easier, right?
Absolutely.
It should have been. There's a reason that Toys R Us doesn't exist and all this because online's supposed to be easier and more convenient, and somehow we've screwed that up. Yeah. And I'd rather go hunt. But
speaking of that,
true.
Joe, you've been to Frank and Sons quite a bit lately, and how has that been? More and more busy.
Tell you guys. You go to Frankenstein's and you see why it's getting ruined because you see all these vendors buying them and then tripling the prices on them to where it's like like that Boba Fett. The Boba Fett one I saw, I was like, it's like right there. It's right there for the taking, but I can't touch it because of what they're asking.
And it's their own fault. It's the scarcity because like Ernie said, you can't eat. There's scarcity of it makes it unfun.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. And again, I don't blame anybody if they want to just they're so frustrated at Hasbro, and Hasbro just seems to say the wrong things all the time. Address the real issues. They just there's a plastic shortage. Okay, well, Scott and I talked about this, and real fast before we wrap up, Black Series the only ones that are going up. Marvel Legends, Black Series, Hasbro, DC Unit Multiverse, they're still $19.99, and they're still coming out with wave over wave.
And they're an inch taller.
McFarlane.
That's what McFarlane, the DC Multiverse,
yes,
right? All these are
saying.
DC, and they're
like 300 Batman out.
Yeah, and NECA's always been expensive, by the way, but that they're not. I mean, they're always been like 24 to 29. Hasbro's the only one that are increasing, and they're just saying plastic shortage, and I'm like, but these other lines, Mattel. Look at Mattel.
Mattel with He-Man, but McFarlane with the Swamp Thing figure, the deluxe Swamp Thing figure that is massive, and the thing's $40. And I'm like, that's or $30. I don't know if it's 30 or 40. Yeah, 20. Okay, $30. So it's like twice the size of a Star Wars figure, and it's $10 more. That's it. That's a deluxe figure.
Hasbro needs to renegotiate their deal in China for plastic. That's all I'm saying, because every other toy company is doing quite fine. They're doing quite fine. Right?
Well, it sucks because we talk about this all the time on the other show on how they're all in the same office and it's down the hallway, it's the next door. And I'm always saying, go beat on that door and tell them to get their shit in order, because it's not like you're saying all these excuses that they're giving. That was a huge rant that we had. So they came on and they tried to clear their name by saying that, and also that Boba Fett was a deluxe because he has the most paint apps, blah, blah, blah. And that's bullshit, because you have all these Boba Fett figures that you made with the same one, and you're trying to say that now more paint apps and it's the same goddamn thing. That's ridiculous, dude. That is a line of crap that you are trying to give out of your little office when Marvel Legends is doing it, Power Rangers, Ghostbusters. You have everything else there that they're just
why isn't it cheaper for a Stormtrooper? Right. If it's more expensive for Boba Fett because he has more paint, why would it be? Yes. Why wouldn't it be less for a Stormtrooper?
Well, it's got that extra gloss on it. It's got the extra gloss, so that stuff is expensive.
Yeah, that's bullshit, dude. That's some of the worst stuff I've ever heard. Extra paint costs more money.
And the plastic thing and the everything, you're just giving excuses. I don't understand what power these guys have.
No,
they keep on doing this crap.
They're giving less and charging more, and that's. again, I would not shed a I don't like.
Well, now I'm out again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything, but he lose their job like Chris. We've talked about this, right? We don't want that, but at the same time, I think the Hasbro team can benefit from.
We just need to put them somewhere where they're more successful, maybe delivering the mail inside the building, something like that, but not designing the toys.
Yeah.
What's that?
Janitorial duties.
Yeah.
They can get janitorial. They
make
can
those bathrooms sparkle, man. But
whatever they want to do while we're designing the figures, they can do whatever they want. They can make the PowerPoint.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. I'm not saying somebody
so good at delivering shit.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not saying that somebody should lose their job about it, but somebody needs to have a damn meeting and go over what is going on here.
Yeah, they need to stop just looking at numbers, because again, as I've explained many times, right, it's the scalpers make the number for them. They need to stop looking at that, and they need to start looking at what the fans are saying, because I hear it all the time, and I'm not even a collector, and I get frustrated for you guys. And it's not just like it's you guys or just your shows or just anything. It's all over the Star Wars fandom, right? They all hate it,
right?
And it's like, besides maybe 3 people I've seen, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. So they need to start listening to that and stop listening to their close friends that are in their feed telling them they're doing a great job.
Very true.
Like Mando Mike says, slap Star Wars on it and those suckers will buy anything.
That's what they're saying, and it's true, because there was one of those today too where I seen somebody say, I hate this, but I have to buy it because it's going to complete my set. And that's where and it's like, well, there's the problem. They know that.
How about this? You clear that team and fill it with people that got a passion for. First of all, they got to have a passion for Star Wars. Secondly, they got to have a passion for toys and collecting, and and not be tone deaf to what the fans are saying. Look, we want this, we want this, we want this. Instead of saying, okay, we're still going to give you the easier route in a repaint.
Yeah,
it's like we need people in there that got a passion for
passion for Star Wars, meaning if you're gonna slap Star Wars on it, make it quality. If they made it quality, and that's what I said, Ernie, it's like, if you want to charge me deluxe, but give me a really cool black chrysanthemum, 7 inches tall, a sculpt that looks good with accessories. Make it quality. People will pay for it. You know what I mean?
With the knuckle dusters where you can see them and all sorts of stuff, man.
Like I really hope,
and different heads. It should come with different heads.
The main line. I hope the main line one is. I hope they turn it around, but I don't know, man.
It's not. And this was your black chrysanthemum was your proof.
Yeah, but
Gordon says first Hasbro needs to admit they have a problem, and they won't.
So they need to.
Are still there.
Yeah.
So we need to have an intervention and send them to meetings, right? My name is Dave from Hasbro, and I make shitty toys.
Dave.
Like you guys said on the Toy Amigos before, right? Speak with your wallets. If we don't like something, don't buy it.
Right.
But again,
and then so that happened with the Rancor.
Doesn't matter.
I know. It happened with the Rancor.
That worked.
And they turned it around on us. Well, here we gave it, and you didn't want it. Right.
Yeah,
they still did.
I fired because nobody listened to the Starlight Digest when I was telling them there was going to be a Rancor being ridden by Boba and you'd want it. That's your own damn fault.
So see, again, that goes to a team, though. That team that they all show with the marketing and we do this and that. You cannot tell me you didn't know that we knew there was going to be a freaking Rancor.
Yeah.
You can't tell me you didn't know that there was going to be a Rancor in Book of Boba Fett.
Right.
That night by Friday would have been sold out.
HasLab is the only way you can vote with your wallet. That's the only way in Hasbro you can do it.
And
because it's the only way to stop something. Again, because the figures will get sold no matter what. They don't care about that. Their boxes go out.
It worked. The fans spoke. They did not want that version.
That's the only way to do it. It just
complete package.
Had they waited 4 weeks, waited 4 weeks,
it would have passed.
Again, their vibe check missed because they don't get it. They're Joey just said they're tone deaf. That's dumb. That should have been they put too much out at the same time. Look at me passionate about it. None of this has to do with me. Zero has to do with me. I have a pop Rancor. I'm fine. Right. But watching
it's the principle.
It's just watching it. You put 3 different HasLab type projects out at the same time, and you mistimed the Rancor by 6 weeks. That's just dumb. It's just that does need somebody to get demoted or moved out of position. That does. If I was their boss, you would not be doing that job anymore. Although if I was the boss, I would have known that too, and I shouldn't be doing my job anymore.
Very true.
Right?
Very true.
You guys actually take that back. You guys have the team that they get seen. That's not their fault. They have bosses that okay everything and put stuff down on them. It's their fault. So the people you don't see are the ones we need to be.
Because this CEO is like, we need a bottom line in here. We need to make money here.
There's a lot of lines between that CEO and those people you see on TV or on YouTube. There's a lot.
There's always a face to. There's always, man. I mean, there's a lot of politics involved in it, and if you really want passion into your collecting, then go all customs, because those guys they put the effort in. And
I almost feel bad. I bet you the ones we see in the boxes like we do are sitting there putting on their faces like they have to, right? Hey, check out this black chrysanthemum, blah 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 blah, and in the back they're like, fudge, I have to do this because it's my job.
Crap.
Right. And if I don't do this right,
it's like,
Jack in the back is watching me right now. And if I don't make this sound fantastic and look at these great dreadlocks on this black chrysanthemum, if I don't do that right, I am fired. Right. So, I mean, there's a lot. We get right at the wrong people.
Do you think there had to have been at least 2 or 3 people that looked at that as part of the marketing and said, are you really
sure about that?
I mean, they had to. They couldn't be high-fiving each other with that.
I literally think it's the people we have to see that talk about it. I think it's the people we see that their faces are the ones they're ones like, hey, this isn't going to work. I'm going to catch all sorts of crap online. Are you really making me do this right now? And they're going to argue with their boss. And he's back there going, listen, if I do this, it's going to cost me 80. It's going to save me 80 cents per unit on all these figures, which in the long run, when I sell 1 million of them, is blah, 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 $80,000. This is what we're going to do for our bottom line. Effing do it. It's your job. That's what's happening. And that's just jacked up. We act like there's a bunch of dudes and they're having fun. Right. And like, hey, let's make this toy and see if the fans like it. That's not how it is. They're trying to make money the cheapest way.
Well, there's a reason why they're not rushing out the aliens and stuff, because they know it's going to be once it's up, they're not even peg warmers. It will be peg warmers if they did abundance, but it's not something that's going to fly off the shelves in millions of units.
The aliens units are
the millions of units are the Boba Fett's, the Grogu's, the Mandalorians.
That's funny. I got some today, right? And I was talking to my wife, and I said, you know what's great about collecting? Hold on. Funkos is that I get more off from Jeddah, right? You guys will never get that. You'll never get that. I have probably 80 random aliens just sitting around for $10.
Yeah.
Cool molds, all different. Didn't repaint jack shit, right? Yeah. On this collection, you guys are never going to get that, and I think that's BS, because I think the figures that we all grew up collecting are the ones that should have the random aliens and the cool stuff, and not 50
3 3/4
all
you will
the time.
6 inch. It's like, again, 6 inches is this all. That's why we'll never see vehicles, because it's just way
vehicles
too much.
Are fine, but what number are you on in your collection? Like, what number are the boxes on?
Oh geez, I mean, it started over
counting,
like 4 times.
They stopped counting quite some time ago.
Oh, they don't have numbers no more.
But we're in the 300 to 400, right? I mean,
that's plenty. There's plenty to have all your aliens in there.
And how many are clones? You know what I mean? There's like 50 of them that are clones.
And how many are Luke?
10 at least.
Vader.
Yeah,
you know, it's what I'm saying. You don't have enough of the random cantina type aliens and stuff.
There's got to be at least 6 different Vaders.
Yeah. We are getting alien secure though, but I mean, that's just there's a problem there. There's a need there, and I just don't think that their ears are to the ground in a sense, because there is a demand for the C-list characters. Star Wars has always been that way. Collectors always been that way, deep, and do it. Hasbro, and the pre-order should be like I said, pre-order should be like, how many you want some? Oh, there's 90,000. Okay, we're gonna make 95 just to cover whatever. That's it. That's what we're gonna order. Pre-orders should be that. They should never run out of pre-orders. You know what I mean? They should never sell out when they're a year and a half out.
A year and a half out, exactly.
And that's the
made to order, man. Make it to order. What
that's the whole point of a pre-order.
That's how you get rid of scalpers.
Yeah.
Because you 100%. Make it to order and they don't buy 10 of them. Why are you being dumb? If you're putting it out to May anyway, just do that. Hasbro, listen. I don't even collect and listen.
All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. We expect to go on a toy rant, but by the way, guys, that's the Razor Crest right there. And if you haven't checked it out, Scott, me and myself and Mando Mike did a 6-part 1-minute toy reviews that's on our YouTube channel right now and on TikTok. Go check them out in sequential order. We break it down to the finest detail, to the exclusives, to spinning, everything. It's just a great figure. I promise you I'll never be on camera and that way again. Okay. This is it. You're only going to get from here up. I'm done. My show business career on that is over. So please.
I think I might do a patron only actual deep dive review on it, and actually go full out, and just for our patrons in the Patreon group. So Yeah.
And
Awesome.
And he won't have any clothes on while he's doing it.
That's the $70 perk. It goes to buying Scott clothes. That's why we $70, you know.
Put it on.
Exactly.
All right, cool. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody in the pit. Like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. Hit that bell notification because YouTube is really bad about changing their algorithms, and nobody gets notified when any shows go. So do your favorite. Any shows that you subscribe to, hit that bell too. That's very important. But with that, I'm going to kick it over to Ernie, and I will see you guys next week.
Yeah, guys, thanks for joining us, everybody in the pit. Please go share with your friends. Go tell them that we are here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Don't forget about all of our other reviews that you can catch on here. That's why you want to hit that bell and for reminders so you know when something goes up and you don't miss out. Or just continuously check back in. We are on TikTok, Facebook with the Sarlacc Digest Central with 24/7 Star Wars talk all the time as well. Chris is very busy on Twitter over there as well, trying to put people in check, not argue, but just put people in check.
It's all been very nice and positive.
Yes, it has. I've been monitoring you. You've been doing a great job. I haven't had to jump in and be, you know what, Chris?
When it gets crazy, I put the move along on there, and I'm like, they're done.
See,
I can tell it's going nowhere.
So be sure and check us out on all social media. We thank you all for joining us tonight, and we will see you next week at 8 p.m. Don't forget, speaking of action figures and stuff, all your action figure needs, hit up Tashi Station Emporium for the best in figure stands out there. You can find us all right here as we are on our social medias too. And don't forget our Patreon. That does help us out. So we appreciate it.
Awesome. And with that, Scott,
keep it nerdy, everybody.